bothering me. I'm just getting levels now, can't you see? Getting comfy in my chair, oh golly gee. Not gonna hit the button, homie. Not got no more beeping from the 9-volt, my G. No, I didn't get a new battery. I found a battery, put it inside the thing, and then it kept beeping and blinking and ringing and things, and so I unplugged it and just brought it way far over there. So if you hear a faint beeping, you don't have to be scared. Hi. Hi. I suffer from vicious ADHD, and I have my entire life. At least I've been medicated for it since I was 11. Yeah, it was awesome. They gave me amphetamines, antipsychotics, sleep meds, antidepressants. It was, what were we talking about? Oh, my book. Yes. So I'm writing / have written / have rewritten multiple times a book or series of books. And I don't quite know how to finish it. There should be some closure or something, I feel like, but I don't know. That also sounds kind of lame. But let me just start at the end, which is also like way in the beginning. So, I forgot what I was talking about again. Oh, here we are. I am the son of an orphan. No, this is true. Okay, let me give a disclaimer. I'm going to try, God kill me or Satan kill me or something or whatever if I'm lying to you. Okay, please. And I just want to say I'm also a Christian. All right, straight up. So, but I'm going to do my absolute best to tell the truth, even as the truth is horrifying. Here we go. I'm the son of an orphan, created by a system that claimed to serve God. My father was born at the Tewksbury State Hospital, formerly Tewksbury Almshouse, where my research suggests that the church and state partnered to imprison women, take their babies, and destroy the records. I know, it's fucking heavy. My father reported abuse in his foster home. He told that to me when he was suffering from Parkinson's and close to death. He said that the archdiocese denied his claims and said that he ought to be grateful that he and the other orphans had anywhere to go from those Irish pauper immigrants. When I say that I'm a Christian, I mean that I read the teachings of this man who overturned tables in temples, broke bread with outcasts, criminals, and told the religious patriarchs and authorities that they were little more than whitewashed tombs full of dead men's bones. And in a world where we're faced that with many among the leadership, perhaps the antithesis to that is a graffitied Templar temple from the 14th century that we're told native colonial farmer children built for their root cellars or something. I don't know. The ADHD, the what's it called is trying to get me again. Let me get my chair reset. All right. I forgot what I was talking about because it's so heavy that I think part of myself would just like jumped off the side of a cliff and is like, nope, not dealing with this. So, yeah. Not only was my father born subject to this system, but he was also then raised by it and then horribly treated by it, shall we say, and then abandoned by it. However, my father circled back to be very successful in more ways than I care to share. And let me just say that he had his end-of-life ceremony surrounded by people whom he loved and loved him very much. And there were a lot of them. When I was 11 years old, as I said, I was put on this cocktail of medication. This came as a direct result of both my parents' divorce and my brother's death. Those things happened about 6 months from one another. My brother was the all-American hero. He was 6'2" when he was 15. He bought his own car from a job that he worked under his own volition at the mall after going to school at Latin Academy. He was a dual sport athlete, playing baseball, basketball at Latin Academy, and football previously. And he was always a coach of my football teams, my baseball teams, and anything I got involved in, as was my old man. And it was right at the turn of the century, St. Patrick's Day, 1999. My brother came home from an ROTC training. He had a throat infection. It very quickly turned septic, and he died 3 weeks before he would have turned 18 years old, and a few months before he would have graduated. A few months before he would have graduated from Boston Latin Academy. I, as an 11-year-old, then shortly ended up in a hospital in Jamaica Plain. Code Green North 2! Code Green North 2! I'm just kidding. No, it's fine. It's not a big deal. So there was a lot of stuff. Suicidal ideation, mania, bipolar. Those were their diagnoses. I was sad that my brother died and my dad and mom got divorced. What I needed was perhaps cognitive behavioral therapy or something like that, which my mother struggled very hard to provide me with. Extracurricular stuff, sports and music and everything, while working nights at Perkins School for the Blind after having lost her firstborn son to random illness and her marriage of 27 years to the pitfalls of the world. Now, I, of course, struggled after this. I was in that hospital, locked in there for several months. There was a lot of strange indoctrination in there that I don't wish to go into right now. But I left there on a cocktail of medication with a very new lease on life, shall we say. And I struggled through addiction, through very, very toxic lifestyle choices, and just essentially being on self-destruct mode for the next 2 decades, perhaps. And yet, I just wouldn't die. And along that path less traveled, I do believe I found the one that Christians call God. And I don't believe that he wants us to organize into groups that hate each other and fight over whose semantic interpretation of the doctrine is better. I think that he wants us to follow him down the path less traveled, wherever it may lead, without fear leading the way. So far, as I traverse this path less traveled, I found that my dad, who I'm not even 100% certain is 100% my dad anymore. There's so many different versions. But for certain, he was born at Tewksbury Almshouse / Tewksbury State Hospital. And my uncle was born in the same hospital 6 years earlier from the same woman, my grandmother, who neither of them ever got to meet in person, Mary Walsh. So I'm going to keep trying to find my grandmother and rectify this story for my dad and my uncle, and for anyone else out there who is confused about the lack of evidence and abundance of other people's stories about our collective history. I hope you'll join me here on Alternative Facts 101. Peace.